Hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to the live stream, which has once again occurred on a Monday. Oops. All right. Oh, let me do this real quick. Anyway, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. We're here on a Monday once again. It seems like it's been a while since I've actually had live stream Sunday on a Sunday, but you know, it happens. What's up, Chris? What's up, Sarah? Hey, from the middle of nowhere, Russia. Awesome. In the UK, what time is it? It is 2:41 p.m. here in Birmingham, Alabama. Can everybody hear me and everything? It is cloudy. It probably will rain later, but it's not currently raining and it's not currently wet, so that's something. But I just checked the weather and it's apparently going to rain like every day for the next week or week and a half or more, which I believe includes my birthday, which sucks. My birthday is in a week, guys. Are you okay with me drawing a portrait of you? Sure. I mean, draw whatever you want. But yeah, no, that's fine. I wish everyone would draw portraits of me all the time. I have a folder on my computer full of just pictures that people have drawn of me. Ooh. And a while back, my plan was to get a P.O. box because some people wanted to send me some actual physical art, but I never did it. Maybe I'll do that one day. It's really hot. Like, we're definitely starting to feel the summer weather here in Alabama, and it's really hot in my room all the time. For some reason, the air conditioner doesn't like blow in my room very hard. So if I look a little shiny, that's why. I know some people already said where they're chatting from, but I'm interested to know where y'all are at right now. So where are you from? I know we had someone from Russia and someone from the UK. It's Tuesday morning. Yeah, I was gonna say that makes a little more sense. Maryland. I used to live in Maryland when I was a young child. Australia, San Diego. Whenever I ask where people are from, it's just like, hey, that's another place I've never been. Because I'm not a very well traveled person. I intend to change that at some point, but Ireland. Do I have any water? What's up, Scott? I look happy today. Well, that's good. I'm I'm generally happy, I guess. The mystical land of the San Joaquin Valley. Is that how you say that? In California, that the state itself never gives a shit about. Well, I've heard of it. I don't know anything about it though. My hair is like sticking up on the top. I think I need to cut some of it off. It's like the big fro on the top. Could probably make it look better at some point. But that's just, I don't know, that's part of like when you have the natural freeform dreadlocks. Eventually, they kind of stop matting at the top. Well, they stop forming dreads just because gravity is pulling the rest of the dreads down, so it doesn't connect as well. But that's just what happens. What's up, Lunar Tick? Yeah, I don't intend to cut all of my hair off, but I might need to like cut some of these extra hairs on top off. I don't know though. Did I always have dreads? Not always. I started. Well, let's just say the last time I had a haircut was like 9 or 10 years ago. It didn't become dreads until a couple years after that, but it's pretty long. I like it. It's cool, but it's pretty annoying most of the time. It's like way too much hair, and especially now that it's getting hot, it's like especially annoying. It's like, whew. I have not seen Deadpool 2 yet. I haven't even seen Infinity War yet, but the reason for that is because I was trying to catch up on the other Marvel movies that I missed, which I have done, so I'm ready for that now. I heard Deadpool 2 was good. I heard it was like better than the first one. Um have you ever been extremely anti-feminist in your earlier years? I don't think I was ever anti-feminist. Um I used to have I used to be like very critical of sort of the online feminist movement. And I still to this day find criticisms of the online feminist movement. But it's less of a priority for me because I think that there's bigger problems. But I was never an anti-feminist. I always supported the idea of feminism, and I always acknowledged that feminism was a necessary thing. So I think that would disqualify me from being called an anti-feminist. Um, it's possible that I could have become an anti-feminist if I just kept going down sort of the slippery slope of criticism and just like sort of looking to confirm my bias every day and only looking at cherry picked examples of like crazy people like yelling and doing weird stuff all the time. But fortunately for me, I was able to sort of look at the bigger picture. And also, I've talked about this before, but the as a YouTuber, when I was looking and seeing all of the other anti-feminists, I was like, I don't want to be like that because most of these people suck. So that's another thing that kept me from actually becoming a legit anti-feminist. Do I think I would have been influenced by Jordan Peterson? Well, I don't know. I doubt it though because I've always been a hardcore atheist and anti-theist, and Jordan Peterson is all about, this sort of traditional Christian, like, I don't know, like modern Christian traditionalism, which I don't think would have ever really appealed to me. Which is interesting. Like this has been brought up before, but it's interesting that a lot of these people that that are so-called skeptics and like secular atheists and stuff, they've fallen into fandom of people like Jordan Peterson and like Ben Shapiro and like Milo Yiannopoulos, who are like basically like Christian conservatives, which is I would think that would be the opposite of what a skeptic would be into. But I may have been influenced by some of these other people, and in fact I was, like people like Sam Harris. My next video, I think, is gonna be about Sam Harris. I know it's been a while since my last video, but that's because I'm like actually like having some trouble like writing this script for this video. I think it's gonna be like much longer than my normal videos, but I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it. Because I went through my whole new atheist phase, and I was like enamored with all those guys like Christopher Hitchens and Richard Dawkins and stuff. And to some extent, like I still am. I don't know if I still am 100%, but I definitely have my fandom of them has definitely been tempered by a lot of the more dubious things they've said and done. I was trying to think of someone that I am not into currently that I probably would have been into back in the day if it happened at the same time. I don't know if that's the case though, because a lot of people I like, a lot of people that I am into, other progressives aren't into, because a lot of people are like, if you say one thing that I disagree with or that I find problematic, then I'm dropping you forever. And I don't really look at things that way. Yeah, I think they've sort of ruined the term skeptic, which kind of sucks. Have I met up with any leftist YouTubers IRL? Not really. I haven't been able to go anywhere. Pretty much since I've become aware of this sort of leftist movement on YouTube, I haven't been able to go anywhere. But I mean, I've met some people just incidentally, like because I went to VidCon 3 years ago. And at VidCon I met Cat Black. I met Anita Sarkeesian. And probably some other people. I met some people, like some viewers that were, leftists that had some YouTube channels. I don't really remember who they are. Might be somebody that's like growing now, but I don't remember. But like I said, this was before I even kind of knew about the whole progressive movement on YouTube. Or even like the anti SJW stuff. I didn't really know about it back then. And in fact, I found out about it right after that. Like I knew about some of the people, obviously. Like I knew about the Amazing Atheist and Thunderfoot and people like that. And I kind of noticed that they were starting to talk about, feminism a little bit. And that's, earlier in that time, that's when I was sort of like pretty critical of feminism. But I didn't realize the extent of it until later. And that's when I made my video called the new, what's it called? The new era, the new age of YouTube skeptics or something. I can't remember. It was something like that, but that was sort of me like realizing what was going on. And that was sort of my entrance into this whole shebang, which I kind of wish I didn't get involved like that. That and also we did the questions for anti SJWs, which I was involved in. Oh, what's up, Marina? But yeah, see, I used to be a huge fan of Thunderfoot. Like Thunderfoot used to be one of my favorite YouTubers. Then I don't know. I haven't watched a Thunderfoot video in like 2 years, so I don't even know what he's doing. If he's still doing the same thing. Ignoring responsibilities. I definitely understand that. I know that I know that Thunderfoot when like that whole thing about wait, I don't know. Anyway, they were doing something where they were like making fun of a dead person, and Thunderfoot didn't like that, and I think that was one of the things that split him apart from a lot of that group. I don't think he was ever really a like super inside of the group of the whole like anti SJW stuff, but I think he sort of took a stand on that. Criticism of H3. I don't know. I haven't watched H3 in a while. I've heard about some kind of controversy with him or with them. I don't know the whole story though, so I don't probably shouldn't comment on it. I generally in the past have been a fan of H3. I think that I feel like he seems like he's probably a decent person, but I think that I feel like he feels like he has to portray this like edgy persona just to like appease his fans. And like he's another one of those people that I think he like I don't know, he wants to talk about like he wants to reference politics and social issues every now and then, but you know, I don't know if he's like actually equipped to do that. I mean, maybe he is, but it doesn't come off that way. I think that they're good YouTubers, but I don't know. Like I was saying before, I'm not really the type of person that's like gonna be like, oh, you did a thing that was problematic, and now I'm done with you forever. Like I just don't really think that way. But I mean, I guess some people would argue that they have a trend of being like that. So I don't know. I kind of miss out on a lot of the YouTube drama because I'm just not like interested. Like I feel like I should keep up just so I know what's going on, but it's like I don't want to just to have my like feed filled up with bullshit. Like I just want to have a good time and be happy. So I miss out on a lot of this stuff. Sean's making a video. Well, that should be pretty interesting. There's a lot of people. I think I've talked about this before, but I think there's a lot of people who like you can tell that they like are basically decent people, but they for whatever reason they feel like they have to put on this like fucking like edgelord persona and it's really like frustrating to me. And I feel like Ethan might be an example of that. And I've met people like that in real life too. It's like, why are you acting like that? Who are you trying to impress? Like, I guess when you're like a YouTuber or a public figure, it's a little bit more understandable because it's like your job. So you know, maybe you feel like, you know, it's part of your livelihood to play this character, but I don't know. It just seems kind of obnoxious to me. I remember back when YouTube was all about creativity. Now it's just a bunch of douchebags being shitty to get views. Yeah. Well, I think it's coming around. I think it's getting better. But there definitely was a period where YouTube was just like plagued by drama and like basically bullying and shit like that. But I feel like it's getting better, or at least it's slowly sort of coming around. I don't know if it's ever going to go back to like how it was a long time ago, because everything is too um too commercialized. There's too much like financial incentive to do certain things. I mean, honestly, Fred was a pretty interesting show. Like, it got pretty annoying. It's one of those things that had like definitely had a shelf life, and it should have ended far before it did. But the early concept of Fred, that was unlike anything else on YouTube. Like, I thought it was extremely creative. Um, well, you know, obviously it wasn't gonna entertain everybody, but I don't think you can argue that it was an original idea. Yeah, I think that a lot of people are going to start switching platform. Well, I've always predicted that people will switch platforms if they feel that they can't succeed on YouTube with what they're doing. And I think there's certain things that just, you know, aren't going to work on YouTube just because of the way YouTube is. Um, but I feel like the algorithm is being tweaked constantly, and so, you know, maybe things will get better. Because I'm seeing, like, to me, like, I'm seeing a lot of people growing now that weren't growing before, or they're growing now doing something that you would expect to be working. Even my channel is growing again, which is weird because I mean, I don't know if I've changed that much about my strategy. I mean, I changed the style of my videos, but you know, they haven't really gotten much more views than normal, but my channel has been getting more subscribers, so I don't know what the hell's going on. Yeah, Ray William Johnson is actually doing really well on Facebook. Um, I don't know that that's probably how he really feels about stuff. So whatever, you know. I think I don't. I was gonna say his fans are probably people that are older, but probably not. I wouldn't be surprised if he found like a new generation of young fans. It seems to me that YouTube actually gives a shit. I thought for a while that YouTube just really didn't give a shit, and all they wanted was just to maximize their income, which I'm sure is still their number one priority. But uh, I think that YouTube actually does give a shit, and I think that they're trying to make things better for everyone. And I think you can see different things working in different arenas, but there's definitely more work that needs to be done. But it's clear to anyone who um, tries to do YouTube for a living, or just even just to do YouTube period consistently. It should be very clear that you don't need to be relying solely on YouTube as the single platform that's going to cause you to succeed. So like once you sort of get out of that mindset that I need YouTube to work properly in order to succeed, then you're less bothered by it, I guess. Um, and even if YouTube like did everything that everyone wanted to do, it would probably still be a mistake to completely rely on it as the single platform. What are your thoughts on the current line of politically oriented late night shows? My thoughts? I don't know. They're good, I guess. I don't. I sort of just watch clips on YouTube. I don't really watch the shows. I like Colbert's show a lot. That's probably my favorite one that I can think of. And I guess Last Week Tonight is really good. All the other ones are fine. I don't know. I can't think of one that I just like dislike. Like The Daily Show is fine. And I think The Daily Show is actually like getting a lot better. I was like really skeptical when Trevor Noah first came, and I feel like it was pretty blah at first, but I think it's getting better. Well, I think people what probably will never change is YouTube will always uh the whole ad friendly thing that probably won't change. Like that's probably something that's sticking around. Um, so videos that are even like remotely controversial have the chance to be demonetized. And that's going to include anything political, anything involving social issues, including LGBT. So that's just how it goes. I don't know if that's a good. Well, I obviously don't think that's a good thing, but I don't really believe that I can argue with that because it's their choice. I don't think it's true that the algorithm is stifling discoverability and searchability of LGBT stuff. If that's been argued, I would have to look more into that because I don't think that's true. But they're definitely being demonetized. That's definitely a thing. Oh yeah, kids TV shows getting more diverse. I'm always down for that. as much as the conservatives cry about it. The thing about it is, kids don't. Kids have never given a shit about gay people. I don't think kids have ever, at any point in history, given a shit whether people were gay or straight or anything. It's a thing that you are like, that it's like a learned bigotry. Because if you talk to like little kids, it's like not even on their radar. They don't care. And I think this was true even, you know, in the 50s or probably even like forever. Yeah, Patreon, I don't know, YouTube should probably really thank Patreon, because Patreon definitely kept a lot of people on YouTube. I can tell you, if I didn't have Patreon, probably would not be able to do this unless something else big happened. I probably would have to I don't know, go wait some tables or something. And even to this day, it kind of sucks, because there are people who get like hundreds of thousands of views that still can't live off of YouTube without Patreon. It's like you can't. I don't know. Patreon has definitely held a lot of people over, and YouTube they're about to launch the sponsor button. I don't know exactly. You know, a lot of people have it, but I'm not exactly sure when it's going to be like 100% widespread. I don't know if it's going to replace Patreon. We'll see. I have a feeling that they're going to take like half of the money. Like it might be like I don't even know. Like, do any of y'all know like what the split is with the sponsor button? Um. Anyway, but it's like if they take all of the money, then people are gonna just encourage people to use Patreon. And honestly, I'm kind of surprised that more people aren't using PayPal, because I'm pretty sure you keep most of the money with PayPal compared to any other funding source. You keep the most money when people pledge with PayPal. Doesn't ContraPoints only make 200 a month through ads? I would be surprised if she made that much, because if I'm not mistaken, almost all of her videos get demonetized just because she makes videos about fucking weird shit. Yeah, PayPal's not a perfect company. In fact, I kind of hate PayPal, but they do like let you keep most of the money. And I use it because it's there. Like I said, you can't rely on any single platform, but you might as well use everything that's there. What's the YouTube cut of Superchats? I don't remember exactly. I want to say it's like they give you like 75% and they keep you 20 and they keep 25% or something like that. But they make you pay if you buy a super chat. I'm pretty sure they make you pay the fee. So like if you buy a $2 super chat, I think they make you pay like $2.50 or something. But super chats are cool because you actually get something for it, no matter how little it is. Like, it's cool to just have your message highlighted in chat. Like, that's pretty cool. So I think that's why people still do it, and that's why it's, you know, still I still think it's a good idea on YouTube's part. I wish they didn't take all the money, but you know. Electric Low Man, thank you for the 444. You don't get no fee. What up, T1J? How's it going? All right, Crazy Jerry Mouse, thank you for coming to the stream. I think that people, like, if you can give people like a little perk for donating, then that's always preferable. So even though like I have the option of super chats versus PayPal, super chats are far more popular. That could be because people don't really know, but can we talk about J.K. Rowling and the issue surrounding her? What is the issue surrounding J.K. Rowling? How do I feel about phone interviews? I mean, I guess depending on what it's for. I've done phone interviews before. I don't really like talking on the phone, but I mean, I'll do a phone interview if it's necessary. I just had one. The residual anxiety still lingers. Yeah, I mean, I pretty much hate talking on the phone. I try to do it as little as possible, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. It's so crazy how someone like J.K. Rowling, it's just like one day she's a hero to the left, and then the next day everyone hates her. It's like, what is going on Twitter? That's why so many like famous people just never say anything. They just try to never say anything remotely controversial. My goal in life is to never have to do another interview ever again. I probably won't be able to avoid that, but that's my goal. My goal is to just never have to do that. Or at least never have anything important riding on my success at an interview. Which is interesting because I have generally been pretty good at interviews. Yeah, I heard some kind of controversy about J.K. Rowling doing or saying something transphobic, but I don't know, man. I have seen so many people get what I would say erroneously called transphobic, so it's hard for me to. I would have to see things myself. Or like turf. Like, I understand that turfs are a thing, but that term is like massively misused on Twitter. I agree that Twitter is a bad place to judge someone from, but it's where like all of these controversies come from. It's like, oh man, this person tweeted something, or they retweeted something, or they liked something, and now everyone says that they're a bigot. And it's like, man, I don't know. The term turf is used very frequently. Like when you call someone a turf, it's in the name trans exclusive, and there are people that I know, I 100% know to not be trans exclusive, that are called turfs. So in my view, that is that's misusing the word, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to get, I don't know if I get too into this. But I also think what's happening is a lot of times people are using the term turf um the in place of the word transphobic, and those are two different things. Like you can be trans inclusive but also transphobic, but I don't think you could be trans inclusive and also a turf, because that's literally the opposite of each other, right? I mean, to correct me if I'm wrong. I don't claim to be an expert, but I'm just going off what the letters in the word means. But I mean, it gets to the point, and I think that's why people try to claim that turf is a slur, because people just sort of throw it out because they know that it sounds mean, even though it sometimes doesn't even apply to the person that they're talking about. But obviously, there are trans exclusive feminists. Like, that's the thing. So the term means something. Like, Ben Shapiro is definitely a transphobe, but he isn't anything resembling any branch of radical feminism, turfy or otherwise. Yeah, that's a good example. Um, but there are people who identify as feminists who are arguably transphobic. Sometimes I don't know about that, um, but who are arguably transphobic, but who don't seem to fit the definition of a turf. What's up, Mr. Stapler? Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, Twitter gets a little wild, and I try not to these days. I try not to go too hard on Twitter, and I try not to like lose my shit over the things people say on Twitter, because Twitter's just weird. And Twitter, it's sort of like how I used to be with Tumblr. Like, Tumblr used to fucking ruin my day, because it was so many people on there that were just like out of control, saying the most outlandish shit every day. But then I just had to step back and be like, Man, I can't. It doesn't matter that much. These are just like fucking children on the internet that are trying to figure out how they feel about things, and they're writing on their personal blogs. It's not like they're fucking, writing on the front page of the New York Times or something. They're just writing on their personal little Tumblr blog. And that's kind of how I feel about Twitter. It's like, whatever, man. I'm not gonna lose sleep over these people on Twitter. But that's why, I mean, I assume it's probably different if you have a lot of followers. But maybe it isn't. But I hide all my notifications. The only notifications I have are from people I follow, and I basically unfollow most dramatic people. There are some people that I still follow because I kind of want to keep up with what they're doing. But there's some people that I just like had to straight up unfollow because they're just like too obnoxious or too dramatic or always involved in something. Even people that I like generally like, it's just like their whole Twitter existence is this them involved in drama, and it's like, fucking get your life together, man. What I think of Peter and Ashley's stream. I was only in there for maybe like 30 minutes or so, but I mean, I think those people are cool. It's interesting to hear Peter talk about politics and economics and stuff, because I generally don't agree with him on most of that stuff. Like I probably agree with him close to 100% on social issues. But he's like far to the left on me far to the left of me on like economics and political structures and stuff like that. But it's interesting to hear him talk about it because I think he's like generally much smarter than me. So I like to hear him talk about stuff like that. Long live the Heiko chamber. Is that what this is? The Heiko chamber? Mm. He's very unfocused in his intelligence. Peter is? I think that he's just like, I think he's ideological on certain things, which I feel like most people who have sort of worldviews that are pretty far out of the mainstream, you have to sort of be a little ideological, but hopefully you understand which parts of your sort of ideology are practical and which aren't practical. But I don't know. I'm always willing to hear ideas that to me sound completely impractical, but maybe to someone else they don't. But I don't know. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. Like sometimes I'll see someone and I'm like, everything you say, it sounds really, really weird to me. But maybe that's just because my lack of perspective, and maybe you know more about it than I do. But then 10 other people later, like, yeah, that's actually pretty weird. So I don't know. Um, Anything grinding my gears at the moment? I just found out that Alabama, the state that I live in, has by far the highest approval rating for Donald Trump, and it's the only state in the country where the approval rating is higher now than it was a year ago. So that was pretty annoying. That was pretty frustrating for me to learn. It's like, good job, Alabama. I mean, at the end of the day, reality always beats ideology, but when you're just having a conversation, a hypothetical conversation, it's interesting. Did my stream stop working? Okay. I don't know, the stream like cut off for me. Is it still working? Oh, there it is. Anyway. Because before I met a lot of these people on the internet that are like far to the left of me, I always thought that I was like way left than most of my friends, because I'm always like, maybe we should have a basic income, or maybe the minimum wage should be like $30 an hour. Like, that's the type of shit that I say. And it's at this point, it's pretty like, it's relatively impractical to suggest that we raise the minimum wage to $30 an hour. But I think it's something that's worth saying just to get your point across. But then there's people that are just like, oh, we need to just completely dismantle capitalism altogether, which is infinitely more impractical. Maybe not to them. What do you think are the chances of a more leftist candidate being put forward by the Democrats in the next presidential election? Probably low chance of that happening. It just, I mean, like, that's just not the platform of Democrats, and I think that's what a lot of people have to realize. The Democrats is generally it's not like a far left party. It's not like a progressive party. Like, there are progressives in the party, and there are progressives aspects to the party, but that's just not the platform of the party. So it just seems unlikely that they're going to nominate someone who is like that. You got to go, Mr. Stapler. Well, thanks for stopping by. I think the only possible way that would happen is if just the voters and the citizens just heavily supported someone who was more to the left, who was more progressive, that sort of just forced their hand. But I don't think that's going to happen either, because I don't think that America is as progressive. I don't think Americans are as progressive as I would like them to be, or as probably a lot of people think. I mean, you can say that. You can see that just by the massive support for Hillary Clinton, which that's not intended to be like a drag on Hillary Clinton, but I think it's safe to say that Hillary Clinton is not a progressive candidate. But, she was, appealing enough to leftists in America, which I think is a good indication of where we're at. How do you handle whether you should challenge someone's views in a public discussion if you already know they won't listen? Would it look like you're not an ally if you said nothing? Or is it better if you keep challenging them? I mean, that just depends on what your goal is. Me personally, I don't really see the point in talking to people that I know aren't listening. Like I don't know like what is your goal? If your goal is to change their mind and you know that that's not going to work, then that seems pretty counterproductive. If you have like an audience or something, that could be an interesting argument for doing it, because a lot of times if you're debating someone in front of other people, sometimes those people benefit from hearing your arguments, even if the person you're talking to isn't listening to them. So that's something. Even in that case though, for me, like I rarely think it's worth it, just personally. But this is, for me, it's just a personal it's a personal method to maintain my stress levels and mental health and things like that. I'm not trying to like frustrate myself over some stubborn person, because it's just gonna make me upset and flustered, and I feel no need to put that on myself for no reason. But that's just how I feel about it. Some people feel okay with that and they feel like they can deal with that, but I ain't got no time for that. What's up, wholesome punk? Don't you also run the risk of legitimizing claims that deserve no legitimacy by engaging in the public debate? I mean, yeah, I think that is a fear. I don't know. I don't know. That I think that's a compelling argument. I don't necessarily know if that is true. I know that just by debating something that you legitimize it, but I think that is worth considering for sure. And also, just because someone has a different view than you doesn't mean that their view is not legitimate. So that's also something, because I think a lot of times people like completely dismiss things just because they don't agree with them, but just because we don't agree doesn't mean it's not worth bringing up, or it's not worth paying attention to. I really like purple and I love your channel. Stay positive. TJ, thank you. I like purple too. I like purple and orange. And anyone who's ever seen any art on my channel probably can understand that. Because my stream is purple and orange. My logo is orange. My current icon is orange. My banner on my channel is purple and orange. The most expensive liquor that I have consumed, I don't know. I've never been in a position to drink very expensive liquor. I've had Patron, that's pretty expensive. I don't know. I haven't had anything like super exotic. I've had the ones that everyone has heard of. Like I've had Grey Goose, which is pretty expensive. But I've never had anything like outlandishly expensive. Also, I didn't pay for it, so it was definitely worth it for me. I can't afford to pay for expensive liquor, so I don't do it. I don't know. I feel no I feel no duty to challenge people for their shitty views. I don't feel like I have to do that. Especially when I know that it's not going to lead to anything. I'm perfectly happy to let you go on about your life being a jackass. Like it sucks, but it's literally not my problem. If anybody is willing to sit down and listen, then I'm happy to do that. But if I know that they're not, then, well, Godspeed. I'm gonna go and continue to be happy. Because you can't save the world. That's the thing you have to realize as a human being. You're not gonna be able to save the world. You can help the people that you can help, but if you think that someone is beyond help, then I don't think that that's on you. That's their failing as a person. Like, it doesn't, to me, it doesn't matter if how it looks. If it looks like I'm, wimping out, if it looks like I agree, I don't care. Like, I just want to not be stressed out. Like, I don't feel responsible for other people's if other people have false impressions of me, then I don't really feel like I'm responsible for that, because it's easily rectified. Just come and ask me, hey, do you agree with this? And I'll tell you no, and then settle. Yeah, and I'm not saying I'm like 100% perfect at this. I'm just saying this is how I feel. Every now and then I get baited into a debate or something, but I usually catch myself very quickly. If I realize that I'm in a discussion with someone who is just not gonna relent and is just full of shit, then I'll back out pretty quickly. I'll let them have the last word. I don't care. Um, some people are especially skilled at baiting you into these frustrating conversations. Like, learning to avoid these conversations is as much of a skill that you learn as it is to bait people into doing them in the first place. Do you like cakes? And if you do, what's your favorite type? Cakes? I like birthday cake. I like cheesecake. I don't eat that much cake though. I try to avoid sweets. Now, I'm actually about to. I think I'm gonna try going back on the keto diet. So that means there's gonna be very very little cake. Well, basically no cake unless it's like a low carb cake. I've done keto like a long time ago. Um, but my problem is I like to drink beer, or I did like to drink beer. I don't even drink it that much anymore, but um so I really wasn't able to maintain it, but I think I'm going to try it again. I've ever had birthday cake flavored ice cream. I have. It's very good. I love ice cream as well. Yeah, sometimes I devolve into snark, but I don't like when I do that. Like, I don't like myself like that. So for me, it's better to just back out. And I think it's even for me, I'm a little more conscious of it on in certain aspects because I have a lot of people watching me, and I think that I honestly feel like I've lost followers because of how I've reacted to, you know, douchebags online, because they see me basically like just getting flustered and being like a smartass, I guess. And it's just not really a good look, in my opinion. Um, Do I feel like I'm at a good weight? No, I would like to lose some weight. Like, I think I'm, I don't think I'm disgusting or anything, but it would be good to lose some weight, lose some body fat. And I already work out all the time, so I'm definitely trying to build muscle. The one thing I am concerned about is if it's going to be harder to work out, because generally the common wisdom is that you need carbs for energy during your workouts. So we'll see how that goes. But if that's the case, then I'll just add add a few carbs on workout days and see if that helps. I am always in favor of being nice. Like, I admire people who can respond to assholes with kindness. I think that's very cool, and I wish I was better at that. I wish I could do that at all. I don't think I can, and I don't think you have to. I just think it's cool if you can. I'm getting better at that. I'm practicing not necessarily responding with kindness, but with responding with civility at the very least. Because if I can do that, then it's fine. But when I know that I'm like getting flustered, I just leave. I just mute the conversation. If I have to block the person, I will. I usually don't have to completely block them, but I'll mute the conversation. I'll disable notifications because I just can't deal with that. Yeah, I mean, carbs are not inherently bad, especially if you're eating the right ones. But I think that this particular diet would work for me just because of what I like to eat, and it's also just a lot easier to manage your calories when you're limiting carbs. Like, if you're trying to lose weight, you need to like lower calories, and the easiest way to do that is either by limiting carbs or limiting fat. And the problem is, if you have a low fat diet, you don't get to eat anything that tastes good, in my opinion. And the ketogenic diet is sort of like an extreme version of the low carb diet, which actually causes your body to legit start using fat for fuel instead of carbs. So I'm just gonna try it. We'll see what happens. I've read a lot. I mean, I've done it before, but there's a lot of like good research about it and good anecdotal like reviews and stuff. Yeah, I think that I'm pretty optimistic about keto, but there are just a couple things. Like, I'm not even that into carbs. Like, I don't really care about rice. I don't care about pasta. I do like bread. That's going to be one of the tough ones to give up. And as I mentioned, beer. But you can just drink liquor if you must have alcohol. But alcohol still sort of prevents you from losing weight, so you still need to limit it. But it doesn't like kick you out of keto. I also drink a lot of water already, so that's good. Have I ever been a vegetarian? I have not. Yeah, Diet Coke. My drink of choice right now is Diet whiskey and Diet Coke. So And that's what I already drink most of the time, so that's good because it doesn't have carbs. Like, I would do a low-fat diet, but I just, like, everything that tastes good has fat, so it's just, like, hard to do that. It, if I had to, like, if I had to only eat shit that wasn't that good, then I probably would just not bother altogether. But some people love carbs. Luckily, I'm not that, into it. The only thing that I really like is bread. But some people are like, I gotta have my pasta. I am. I don't think I know enough about the Syrian civil war to really comment on it. I don't. But the thing is, people ask me about like a lot of these geo socio political situations across the world, and I honestly feel like I will never be informed enough to actually give a solid um, answer because these situations are just way too complicated, and I feel like most people talking about this stuff like vastly underestimates how complicated a lot of these things are. So I'm always hesitant. Like, I feel like I will always be hesitant to comment on it unless it's just like very clear cut. From what I've been reading about diets, and I've done a lot of research about this, the way that we've sort of demonized fat is like a mistake, and a lot of the things that we grew up learning and have learned across the past few decades is just like wrong and like based on bad science. Like, the demonization of cholesterol in food is like misplaced. The demonization of saturated fat is like not based on data. The demonization of sodium is not based on real data. So just a lot of these things that seem like common knowledge about food, at least from my understanding, is actually like overblown, and a lot of it is just purely junk, like junk science. Yeah, eggs are like one of the most healthy things you can eat. I think some low carb diets, um, or at least the way that people do them, are not healthy. But you have to like, especially with keto, you have to do it properly. Like, you have to eat a lot of fat. I think that's what a lot of people don't do. Is they don't eat any carbs, but they don't eat any fat either, and that's bad. That's just gonna fuck your body up. But I've done like tons and tons of research on this, like over the past like 10 years. So at least in my estimation, there's a lot of science based evidence that supports keto. But like, for example, a lot of people who are on keto, they eat bacon every day, and even with the bacon thing, a lot of people misinterpret the science. But there's definitely been evidence to suggest that like cured meats and like red meat in abundance is like, you know, increases your risk factor for diseases like cancer. And obviously, if you eat it in moderation, it's probably fine. But if you're eating like, 10 slices of bacon every day, which some people on keto actually do, I know this for a fact. it's probably not good for you. So obviously you have to you have to you have to do your research and know what's good and what's bad. Yeah, if you don't need to lose weight, then I don't think low carb diets you need to do that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about calories. It's all about caloric surplus. So obviously, you can have a low carb diet and still have a caloric surplus, which will prevent you from losing weight. But generally, the point of doing low carb is either to control like your insulin spikes and also to lose weight. Yeah, 10, I mean, not necessarily 10 slices of bacon in one meal, but 10 slices of bacon per day. Like, I know people who eat bacon for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. For me, just because of the stuff that I like to eat, it's much, much easier to control my calories on a low carb diet. Because, like, if you just eat meat and vegetables all day, that's never going to be that many calories. Um, and you can control, like, if you need more calories, you can control it. So you can be like, I'm going to eat some cheese to get some calories, or I'm going to put some butter on this thing to get some calories, or I'm going to eat an avocado to get some calories. But if you're on if you're eating a bunch of carbs, like if you eat like a plate of rice, that alone is like half your calories for the day. That may be a kind of an exaggeration, but depending on what it is, like if you have like a big ass pasta bowl with a bunch of shit in it, a bunch of cheese and butter and shit on it, that's, that alone is going to be like fucking 900 calories. It's just, to me, it's just harder to control your calories uh, when you have high carb. But if you don't want to, if you don't give a shit, if you just want to enjoy your food and live your life, then I completely back that. I'm just speaking from my perspective. Well, I mean, if it was, like I said, if the research dictated that a ketogenic diet was bad for you, then I wouldn't do it. But I don't think I don't think that research shows that. In fact, I think research has shown a lot of benefits for it. And it's the same. I mean, I guess it's similar with vegetarians because it's obviously perfectly possible to have a healthy, balanced diet as a vegetarian or a vegan. But, and a lot of people do them wrong. And the same thing with low carb. A lot of people do that wrong. Like I had a friend that was vegan, and I swear like all she ate was fucking like like snacks and shit all day long. Like she like barely ate any real food. I hate running. I lift weights, but I don't know. I feel like I should maybe do some cardio, not even just for weight, not even for losing weight, but just for like health. It's probably good for you. But if I'm on keto and doing cardio and lifting weights, I might just like get real, like I might just lose way too much weight. And this is just going to be like a trial, if it doesn't work out, I'll just do something else. But I do need to lose some weight, or at least I would like to lose some weight. I don't think I need to. In fact, like since I've been working out, like my body is starting to like look okay. Um, but there's still some flab there. There's still like that alcohol belly I need to get rid of. I don't know if I'm getting swole. We'll see. I'll continue to lift though. I just want to kind of look like I work out, if that makes sense. I just want to look fit, basically. I'm not really trying to be like a fucking professional wrestler or look like The Rock or anything like that, but I want to have a nice little fit body. Yeah, one time I was hanging out at a bar and this girl was there. She was there with a friend. Like I think they went to see a show, but she wasn't drinking, and so we got into a conversation and she basically went into this long tirade about how she doesn't drink, and she's like, not drinking changed my life. I feel so much healthier. And then she like pulls out a cigarette and starts smoking. I was like, okay, cool. Electro man, thank you for the 222. I'm out T1J. Look, man, you the greatest. Appreciate that, man. When I was in college, I used to smoke just to like fit in and be social. But luckily, like smoke cigarettes. I also smoked a lot of weed in college, but uh, I started cigarettes in college I don't know, just to be cool. But eventually, luckily, I never developed like an addiction or a reliance on it. I never got to the point where I felt like I needed a cigarette. So, when I decided I was not going to do it anymore, it was very easy. But really, like for me, I just got to a point where I was like, these actually don't make me feel good, so I'm just going to stop. But I understand for most people, it's a much more like, physiological dependence on it. And I just never got to that point. What does people in America think about Arabs? I guess there's a spectrum of views. I think probably most people have, they're fine with Arabs. But obviously in America there's a strong aspect of racism and xenophobia towards not only Arabs but just any brown person, or it's especially people who are Muslims. Like anti-Muslim bigotry is pretty strong in America. I definitely drink more alcohol than I should, and I am working. That's another change that I'm going to be working on going forward. I don't. I'm like more of a. I'm not. I'm more of a binge drinker than an alcoholic. Like I'm not the type of person that just has to have a drink every day, and I just feel like I don't feel right without a drink. Like I can go many days without a drink, but the day that I do drink, I drink a whole lot all day long. Well, not all day, but all night long, and that's my problem. I need to stop binge drinking. So I'm gonna go in about 30 minutes, everyone. We're approaching the 2 hour mark. Kind of went by fast this time. Restricting leads to binging. I'm too broke to drink very frequently. Yeah. I honestly, well, the thing with me is that is that's like my social life is generally like going out drinking with friends. So any like money that I have left over for social activity, that's usually what it's spent on. But going out to drink is like kind of ridiculously expensive. Even if you go to like a cheap place, it just adds up very quickly. So it's just not a very good thing to spend your money on. Like it's not that bad because I pay my bills every month and I put away my savings, and then I guess I should like pay off debts, but I'm working on that. But what I have left over is just sort of my spending money, and that's usually just spent on social activities, I guess. Sometimes there's like things that I want to buy, like a video game or something, but do you make a good living out of YouTube, or do you do a regular job? Um, I don't know if I would call it a good living. Uh, but like I was saying before, I pay all my bills. I make enough to pay off my bills, which is the main thing, honestly. But I feel like I'm still in building mode, and I've been doing YouTube for a long time, but luckily for me, like I was able to get enough Patreon support to actually like make an honest go at trying to figure out how to make this like a real career. So hopefully I figure that out soon. If I don't figure that out, like within the next couple of years, or maybe even sooner, then I'll try something different. But for now, like I've got enough support where I can like try to do this. So I'm not there yet. I'm not making a good living yet, but I'm surviving and I'm fine. I'm comfortable. I've got an apartment. I pay all my bills. Um, and I get to make YouTube videos for a living, which is, kind of wild to think about. But definitely not making a good living. I'm definitely a poor person, but I'm a poor person who gets to make videos all the time, which to me is pretty cool. Yeah, it's always more fun. I've been trying to get my friends to have more like hangouts at their homes, or like invite people over my apartment and stuff instead of going to bars. But my town is just bar culture. That's just what people do in my town, is we go to bars. And like a lot of my friends work at bars, and like it's just one of those things where you just want to get out the house. People have been working all day, or a lot of my friends work in the service industry, and so like they work all night or they work all week, and then they go to the bar. That's just sort of like the culture around here. But I've been trying to encourage people to do cheaper activities. I'd rather work at a job I don't hate than make lots of money anyway. I agree. That's why I'm doing this. because I definitely could have pursued other jobs for sure. Yeah, I agree that being happy is better than being rich, but I would like to be rich. That sounds pretty cool. So if I can figure out a way to make that happen, then I'm gonna go for it. But I don't know. I've just been lucky to be in a position to even attempt this. Like I don't have a whole lot of financial obligations. I just have to pay my bills, which is just not as much as some other people. I just have a tiny apartment that I share with my brother, and just the regular bills. Put a little in savings, and I don't even have that much savings, but it's just good to put something in. It's good to put more than zero in there. Um, I don't have any kids or anything, so that's not a big thing. I don't have a spouse. So I've been lucky enough to be in a position where I can even try this. But I'm getting to a point in life where I think I need to figure something out like pretty soon. So that's what I'm working on now, and I've been thinking about it a lot. And I've sort of gotten more and more in my mind like what I actually want to pursue, and that could or couldn't. It may or may not include continuing to make YouTube videos in the way that I do make them. I don't think I'll ever just like leave YouTube, but it's possible that I may pursue like a career outside of YouTube. But it's always going to be involved in this arena, like presenting, writing, entertaining. That's always going to be what I'm into. I don't know if it's not for me. It's not like I no longer have to work, because I kind of already feel like what I do is like barely work, because I just like doing it. Like, because I would be doing it anyway, even if I wasn't getting paid. So, that's sort of the dream. So like if I could find a way to make a lot of money doing something that I would do anyway, that's the dream right there. I don't know about public speaking. I mean, you can make a lot of money doing public speaking, so it's something to look into. I don't know. I guess I would do it. I don't know if I don't. First of all, I don't know how you even get into that. What I assume is that I need to like get a higher profile so people actually give a shit about what I have to say. Um, but maybe I could do like some smaller events or something. And I don't, I'm not saying at this point I really don't even expect to get paid for it, but I know that some people, that's how they make their living is public speaking. And not even like super famous people, just like people with a relatively decent public profile. If you ever get writer's block or speaker's block, I mean, I I think writer's block is a myth. Like I get into, just like anyone, I get into positions where I'm like, I don't have any ideas, I don't know what to do, but it's like easily fixed. Is literally just write anything. Um, it's a little bit weird when you're a YouTuber, because when you're a YouTuber, it's like, okay, I need to put out a video. Like, especially now, for example, like my last video was almost a month ago, which for me, that's a long time. I may convert into doing fewer videos, but longer ones, like a lot of the other video essayists do. I don't know if that's going to piss everybody off, but I may do that. Maybe not. We'll see. But anyway, for me, it's like, okay, I need to make a video. So a lot of times you feel very pressured to be like, I just need to just write right now. But really, all what it's all about is just fucking sitting down and writing. If you don't have any good ideas, just write anything. And just at least for me, and I feel like it probably would work for most people, but at least the process of writing and getting your brain moving, that just restarts the engine like immediately. So I kind of don't think writer's block is a thing. But for me, like like on my desktop right now, you obviously can't see it, as I have dozens of ideas for videos and things that I want to write about. So there is never a shortage of ideas. I think after a while, when you like get into the groove of being a YouTuber or doing any kind of serial content like this, you just develop a system for ideas. And every now and then you put out a video that's not as good as the other ones. But the point is just to keep making stuff and to keep writing. Would I ever do a video about colorism? Possibly. I think I need to do more videos about race and racism, because I've realized that not many people are talking about it, and there aren't. I noticed this also, like there's not that many black people in the progressive space on YouTube, and especially black men. Like I can't even think of any. Like maybe maybe Rap Critic counts as being in that space. But so I feel like maybe I should be using the fact that I am unique in that aspect to talk about things from a unique perspective. Yes, I think a lot of people like the long videos. I wasn't sure if people would want that from me specifically though. But you know, like I watch ContraPoints, I watch H Bomber Guy, I watch Sean. You know, I've been getting to 3 Arrows recently. All these people make like 30, 40-minute video essays. Lindsay Ellis, Dan Olson. So it's like it's a genre literally. And so I was thinking maybe I should do that. If I do that though, definitely there would only be one video a month. In the past, I've tried to do like one video a week, but that's starting to get hard. So we'll just see what happens. I think at the end of the day, as long as the videos are decent, then it'll be fine. But yeah, I think I might do more videos. I don't want my channel to become one dimensional, and I've noticed that whenever I do a video about race, they always do well. You know, like my video, can black people be racist? Got a lot of views. Are racial dating preferences racist? Got a lot of views. All my videos about Black Lives Matter got a lot of views. So I think people actually are interested in that perspective, but I just didn't even realize that no one is really talking about it, and it's probably because it's just a bunch of white people. They probably feel like intimidated to talk about it. Do I know XFSN Saber, the League of Legends dude? There's Black Redguard. He's a lot farther left though. Well, I'll check it out. I mean, if it's like good or if it's like interesting. Well, I would like to think that all of my videos are well thought out for the most part. It's just that shorter ones are easier to make and they can come out more often. And I come from a time of YouTube where, you know, you put out a video every week. Like back in the day, one video a month was like unheard of. And even now, you know, the whole algorithm thing, you know, they want you to pump out videos, but I've noticed in the video essay space, infrequent videos can still be very popular and can still cause your channel to grow. And we've seen this with people like ContraPoints and H-Bomber Guy, who are just seeing massive growth right now, even though they put out videos very infrequently. And I think it's because people just are, they're so excited to see every video. Like, people, like, when H-Bomber Guy drops a video, people get excited. They like tweets like, "Oh snap, H-Bomber Guy made a new video." Like, so when you have that much excitement around every upload, you get all of those views like as soon as you upload, and you get all of that watch time, which YouTube really likes. So I think that's why it still works. But I don't know. Anyway, my next video is probably gonna, I don't know if it's gonna be like 30 minutes long, but it's gonna be longer. Like, my videos are usually around 7 to 9 minutes. They rarely get much higher than that, but I think this one is gonna be maybe in the 15 to 20 minute range. Yeah. Well, I think a lot of H-Bomber Guy's fans enjoy his video game videos. In fact, I think a lot of his most viewed videos are the ones about video games. But that's what's cool about H-Bomber Guys. He has like this really very specific niche, but it works. And that's what's cool about YouTube. This is why YouTube is brilliant, and I wish that it worked properly, because that only on YouTube would that work. Like, imagine a TV show that was about video games and politics. No one would watch that. People would be like, I don't understand, why is he talking about video games one day and then politics the next day? Like, this is weird to me. But because of YouTube and Patreon, he was able to find that audience that was okay, if not interested in, but at least okay with that intersection of ideas. Like, I think we're lucky to have H-Bomber Guy, because the guy is easily talented and funny enough to be like a professional comedian. Like, there's no doubt about it. But he's chosen to make YouTube videos, at least for the time being, and we are blessed to have him. I showed up for the politics too, and honestly, like, there's some of his videos that I skip because I'm just not interested. Like, I didn't watch the Sherlock video because it's like, I've never seen Sherlock, and I don't give a shit. Like, this is probably not gonna be that interesting to me. But I did watch, for example, like his Fallout video, because that's interesting to me. The serious lore analysis series is amazing. So, but you know, I think I followed him after he made the virtue signaling. I think that's the first H-Bomber Guy video I saw, was the virtue signaling video, and I was like, oh shit, this dude knows what's up. What's it like hearing your recorded voice? I kind of hate my nasally voice. Well, here's the thing that I've realized. I think my voice is kind of weird sometimes, but I realized that if you have a good microphone, you sound so much better. So I think a lot of times when people say I hate my voice, it's because they're hearing it through like shitty audio. And also, my brother is a music producer and like a studio engineer, so he knows how to like EQ and master audio and stuff, however you term that. So he can make my voice sound good when it, like, I think my voice in these live streams sound decent. Like if you go back a long time ago before I got this mic, it sounded like shit on my live streams. But my brother helped me set up this setup, and I think it sounds okay now. But yeah, I've definitely been studying people like H Bomber Guy and ContraPoints and Lindsay Ellis to try to figure out not only like what it is about their videos that everyone likes. I think mostly it's just really good ideas. You know, at the end of the day, it's just about the ideas. But I also think they're really good at engaging their fans, and they're really good at getting people excited about their videos. And that's something that I've been really thinking about figuring out how to do. Heard about some more news from Cracked. Indeed. Yeah, some news on Cracked was like quickly becoming my favorite thing on Cracked. After Hours always the best, but some news was probably my second favorite. And of course, Cracked like ended their YouTube channel, but then he relaunched the show under the name Some More News, which is about as good. I feel like it's not as good as Some News, the original, but it's still good. It's basically the same thing, but I feel like he probably had like more help with writing on the old show, because I think the writing was just a little cleaner, a little tighter. But it's still good, and the ideas are still there, and it's still funny, and it's, yeah, I think it's one of the best things on YouTube right now in terms of politics. People ever tell you talk white or well spoken for a black person? Yeah, not recently. I used to get that a lot growing up when I was younger. I don't think I've got it that much recently though. All right, I'm gonna get ready to go in about 5 minutes, everyone. So if you've got like a final question or final comment, that'd be great. Obviously, thank you for coming to the stream. Maybe it'll actually be on Sunday next week, but who knows? But it will be either on Sunday or Monday. If you would like to know for sure, click that little notification bell if you want to. Newsbrook is ending? I didn't know that. Yeah, that's exactly the implication of saying black people speak well. That's one of those, like, and that's sort of I've talked about this in the past, but that's why I think a lot of people who aren't black or who aren't minorities or in marginalized groups don't understand why microaggressions like that are offensive and problematic, because it sounds very innocuous to say that, oh, he speaks well, but you don't understand what that implies. Like, speaking well is like, it's the thing that, like, no one says that to white people. It's like, he speaks so well. So it obviously implies, oh, it's surprising to me that a black person knows how to talk. Or like, you know, you're the whitest black person I know, which is like, what the fuck does that even mean? It's like all of the like the good qualities are like owned by white people. That's sort of like what it implies. It's like if you speak well, or if you uh, dress nice, or if you are smart, or if you like are interested in like intellectual things, and if you use grammatical English, it's like, oh man, you're a white black dude. And it also implies that other cultures are inferior in general, you know? So like if your style of dress, like if I don't dress like, the people from the hood dress, or if I don't talk like the people from the hood talk, it implies that those people are like inferior. Reasonably sound? I don't think I know what that is. Right, yeah, I don't like the implication that the way people talk is incorrect. And like, it's not even like a black thing. Like if you listen to how fucking, well, I don't know, I live in Alabama, and if you listen to like white country people in Alabama talk, that shit is barely fucking distinguishable. It's like, what did you say there? Or if you like, it's just regional dialect. It's like a cultural thing. Oops. I've never met a Newfoundlander. Yeah, I don't know how they talk. Yeah, I don't know. But we even see this within the black community though, where we sort of demonize um, certain aspects of the culture, like you know, you see these old black dudes who are like, pull up your pants, start talking regular English, and I don't really like that, because it's like that's their culture. It's not about what you're wearing or how you're talking. It's about the ideas you're expressing, and like whether you're a good person or not. And honestly, like with me, I used to sort of fall into that sort of thing. It's like I used to like make fun of like black people that wore like big ass tall tees and sag their pants and shit, and like gold teeth and shit. But like the older I get, I don't know, the more in tune I am to the culture, and the more I like sort of respect the uniqueness of the culture. And it's even if it's shit that I would never do, like I don't a lot of the styles and stuff I'm not very into, but some of the stuff I like really sort of respect about the culture, just because it's unique and interesting. And it sort of like reflects, because poverty is like a big part of black culture in America. And it's interesting to see like how people react to poverty, and the styles and things that people are able to come up with even though they don't have a lot of money. It's very interesting. Yeah, I don't really like saggy pants either, but it's not anything to judge a person over. I know a lot of like really good dudes that sag their pants. I know a lot of real hard working dudes that take care of their families and are kind people that sag their pants. So it's like, you know, whatever. But I think I'm gonna go. It was a good stream, I think. Follow me on Twitter if you have Twitter. That's the best place to keep up with me a lot. Send me an email if you want to, if you would like to chat privately. If you want to support me in a more long-term way, consider becoming a patron on Patreon. Even $1 a month helps out a lot. And we'll be back next week, either Sunday or Monday. Hopefully Sunday. The goal is Sunday. The goal is always Sunday. But I've just missed like the last 3 Sundays. I guess that's it. I'm still working on my newest video. Hopefully it's not too annoying that it's taking a long time, but I don't know. I've been having trouble sort of writing it the way that I want. Like I've been deleting shit and starting over. And like I said, it's going to be longer than normal. And hopefully it's, you know, it's kind of a very, I don't know. We'll see. I need to stop making disclaimers for my videos before I release them. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. And I'll see you next time. Bye.